Praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom, hopeful brothers and sisters that believe in this word and that fear in the heavenly Father in the Son. This is the brother Daniela coming back again with another lesson. Another impromptu, I should say, while I'm traveling to go yeah, man, it's an impromptu, so whatever comes to my mind through the spirit. I was thinking upon late last night, Elder Pastor Tahar premiered a video. I forget what it was entitled, but basically he was saying, going into the Congolese people, how they're Jake. He was getting into he featured this deaf. He's a deaf rapper. And I actually, when I listened to it, I actually heard it a couple times. My brother that listened to I listened to a lot of music by Israelites from around the world. So I listen to a lot of Congolese music. I actually grew up with Congolese people, and I know for sure that they are Jakes. Actually, one of my he's not a blood relative, but he's that close to me, like a family member. Actually say like a father figure. He's actually from Central Africa, right? And there's no doubt he's a Jake. He's a Jake. His children, his wife's a Jake. They're from Central and West Africa. His family from Central and West Africa, right? So I grew up around a lot of different Israelites. Select it. I'm gonna have to pull over in a sec. Okay. I grew up around a lot of different Israelites from Central and West Africa. So I know I'm very familiar with Jake from those different areas. And Elder Pastor Tahar also did a couple of videos. He did one video I remember where he was going into the Bantu language, because they got this devil categorizes different languages into like language families. Like, say you got Romance languages, all right, which are languages that go back to Latin. That would be French, Portuguese. That'd be French, Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish. All right, Salakia about that. The phone was overheating. It's pretty hot out here. I believe it's 90 degrees out here in the Berg. So you gotta make sure you stay hydrated with some H2O or some H3O, as they say, fruit juice. All right. Over here, I had to check my trailer real quick. All right, but as I was saying, so when you go into the Romance, you got the Romance languages, which is French, Portuguese, Italian, and Spanish, which go back to the Latin. That's why they call them Romance languages, because it goes back to the Romans, which originally were the Japhetic people, but Esau, Edom has taken on their identity. And then you got the Bantu languages, which damn near the majority of the people in Africa, well, which it really is Jake. The Bantu languages go back into the Hebrew, and Elder Pastor Hora did a video on that, where someone was speaking. I believe they were speaking Swahili, or maybe a Zulu language from South Africa. I don't remember, but some of their greetings was similar and sounds similar to how it is in the Hebrew, right? Now, I did a video a while back going into one of the popular languages in I'm gonna have to put this on like this thing. Yeah, one of the popular languages in Congo, which they got many different languages. They speak Swahili, they speak Kikongo, right? And then they also speak a language called Lingala, which is a famous. It's a famous language because most of the Congolese music that basically puts them on the map for music is sung in the language of Lingala, right? Which means the people of comes from the word Ngala, which is the people of the river. It was a trade language. But I did a video on the Lingala Bible, and how the different words for the names of the books and the names of the prophets in Lingala go back to Hebrew, right? They even have which it comes from the Hebrew anyway. They even use the word Abba in Lingala, all right, to say father. They'll use the word, like in the Hebrew you have the word bun, which means sons, or son. Or bunyam is sons and bun is son, right? In Lingala, in the plural version, the way to say right, so the plural version of how they would say children is bana, right? Which is a ba and a na. In the Hebrew, the ba and the na is what you would use to spell son, right? Like they'll say they got a term when you listen to Lingala music or Congolese music. They'll always say Bananzambe, means children of the Most High, or children of God, right? They even have there's even a song by this Congolese artist. His name is Fali Pupa, where he has a song about because just like how they gave bywords and how there's bywords and proverbs on our people over here, they do the same there. You got to go back into the history of imperialism. When the Edomites came into Africa and chopped up, basically conquered the different so-called African people, right? Because a lot of them were Jake, especially in Congo. That's where you get those diamonds from. They would cut Jake's hands. They was basically in slavery in the 1900s, right? In Congo, they'll cut their hands off. They'll whip them, right? And that was all under the wickedness and the authority of hey Shalom, hey Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, those on the comment board. That was under the authority and the wickedness of this guy by the name of Leopold, King Leopold of Belgium, right? That's why a lot of Congolese people speak French, because the Belgian Edomites speak French, right? And you got a lot of Jake from Congo that live either in France or well, really many different parts of Europe, but they live in France or Belgium, right? So you know, there's a whole history behind it, but when you examine the history and how they actually treated those people, they fit the curses too, right? Getting their hands chopped. They was basically in slavery, man. All right, and then actually, Apostle Tahar did another video a couple weeks ago. I forget. Oh, right. How the slaves that came to the Dominican Republic, right? This is very interesting when he brought it out through the Spirit. That came through the Dominican Republic. A lot of them were from Congo, right? So you got a lot of Jakes in the Dominican Republic that you would think is are Simeonites, right? But they actually Judites, they actually Levites, they actually Benjamites, Judites, Levites, right? So they came from the Congo, which is kind of interesting, because the type of music that they play in the Dominican Republic, which is bachata and merengue, right? The way they play the guitar is similar to how the Congolese play their guitar, right? Which the Congo influences, they have a major influence over all the popular African music by Israelites in Western and Central Africa. A lot of the beats are similar, but also the Congo was the biggest so-called African kingdom in Africa, right? So during the time of imperialism, what they did is they split all these different areas. They made new borders, right? They conquered these different places and gave them new names, right? That's why you have what is it? There's the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is DRC. There's another part I can't remember the exact name of, and then there's Angola, and then also I believe Tanzania and Zambia, which is also in that central part. Other surrounding countries that made up the whole kingdom, right? They conquered it, and then they split it into all these different, they gave it different names, just like same thing over here in the Americas, right? When they conquered Puerto Rico, all right, they called it Rich Port, Puerto Rico, right? In the Spanish, when they conquered Asher, the people of Brazil, Peru, Uruguay, Paraguay, you know, all the way down until you get to basically Asher is all the indigenous people of South America, excluding or outside of Argentina and Chile, right? Which Argentina and Chile are of the tribe of Naphtali or Naphtali, right? That was the tribe of Tobit and Tobias' son. That was their tribe, right? So all the other peoples that were indigenous, so to speak, in South America, those are the tribe of Asher, right? Right. So just like how over here they name they have Colombia, which comes from who? Cristobal Colon, Columbus, right? You got Venezuela, which Venezuela comes from the word Venice, which goes back to Italy, right? So just like the scriptures say, they call their lands after their own names. Now so you had a portion of the kingdom of the Congo that, because they were conquered, they speak French, and then another portion that speaks Portuguese. Now, where they speak Portuguese is Angola, which is there would be, you know, of course we know that they're Israelites, and they would be classified in today's terms as technically Congolese, right? Because they were a part of the original kingdom of the Congo. And that particular place is where my family member is actually from. It's from Angola, where they speak Portuguese, and they do. When you go to you talk about Africa, a lot of people grow up speaking 3 languages. The language that they were conquered in, right? The language of their own particular group of people or tribe, and then another language to communicate between tribes. So they usually speak, they grow up trilingual. One of my family members, they speak like, they grew up speaking 4 languages. And they speak 5 now because they speak English. But right, so hey, the people of the Congo are definitely Israelites, right? When you do the top 10 dancers in Africa, of course you're gonna have Nigeria in there, you're gonna have Ghana, you're gonna have Cameroon. Of course, I know a couple of Cameroonians, right? The real great dancers, Cameroon. Of course, you're gonna have Congo in there too, right? You're gonna have Ivory Coast. You're gonna have Zimbabwe also. So all the flavor that's in Africa is from the Israelites. Like the scripture says, which is really talking about the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, right? Where it talks about ye are the salt of the earth, right? And if salt has lost its savor, it is thrown out and trodden underfoot. That salt, that savor, that power really is in the truth and the knowledge of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the Holy Scriptures, right? But us as a whole people, we excel at everything, whether it be entertainment, whether it be at sports or athletics, whether it be at like just sheer physical ability and fighting and war, right? Anything creative, music, dance, food, everything. Like the scripture says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbors, but the ways of the wicked seduceth him, right? And Lord will, I'll do another video going into some other stuff too. I mean, that's one of my favorite topics to get into. Jeremiah 12:7 from the brother GMS in his likeness. It says, I have forsaken my house and have left mine heritage I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of the enemies. Right. Right. So the Lord, as punishment unto us, we was delivered into the hand of the enemies. Right. During the time of 70 AD, and the Lord told those who would listen, right, to flee into the mountains. Right. Those mountains were, you know, the parts of northern Africa, and of course from there we branched off into different parts where we became dispersed, which the word dispersed, diaspora, goes back unto a scattering of the seeds of the Israelites. Right? It says, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird, and the birds round about or against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field come to devour. Right? So our heritage is like a speckled bird. Right? Or the Lord's heritage is like a speckled bird. We are the Lord's heritage, his inheritance. Right? Jacob is the lot of his inheritance, as the scriptures say. Right? And we look like all different nations. Right? We've been dispersed all throughout the world, and that's according to prophecy. That's according to the curses. Right? You know, Jake that look like Chinese, Vietnamese, Cambodian. Which they all kind of look the same. But, you know, they look Hawaiian. They look like straight up, you got Jake that look like straight up Hamites. They got that look, you know? Just because you got two men that are dark brown, they don't mean they're the same, right? And there's the particular kind of look that a Hamite got. It's like, oh, that look dusty and crusty. But you can't always think like that, because Jake that might look like a Hamite, or that Hamite might actually be a Jake. He looked like one. He got like the strong Hamitic features, but he's, you know, he walked like Jake, talked like Jake. Might be in another language, right? So, you know, he Jake in his actual Jake biologically and in the spirit, man. Right? But right, the heritage is like unto a speckled bird, man. So Israelites in today's times gonna come as all different shapes and sizes, skin tones and looks, right? And the main thing that lets you know someone is an Israelite is if their spirit resonates, all right, and is in accord with this truth, right? So we got brothers in I believe it's Tanzania. I think it may be in Tanzania. I grew up with a lot of Tanzanians too. I think it might be in Tanzania or GMS Tanzania. Brother, we got brothers in Africa that are teaching, man, that are calling upon the name of the Lord. There's Jakes in the Philippines calling upon the name of the Lord, using the actual names of the Heavenly Father and His Son. All right, Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, right? The true names of the gods, of the God of the powers of Israel, let's say. Right? So, you know, there's no getting past that, man. Now, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So, you know, Lord will, I'll do a actual video, because even in the time before King Leopold, going back to imperialism, I might maybe even do a little history, lesson, so to speak, and line it up with the scriptures too on that time period. Right, so going into King Leopold, in that time, you know, he basically he plagued the people of the Congo, man, right? And they're being just like a lot of Jakes over there in those different countries, they're being exploited for their resources, right? This devil tried to trying to exploit Asher in Venezuela for their oil resource, man. Right? They exploit the people of the Congo, Jake in the Congo, let's say that, for the different, because there's a lot of different rich resources that come out of there. I believe a lot of rubber for your tires come out of the Congo. They also, I seen a video of, they got a lot of, it's almost like that movie, Black Panther, where they have vibranium, right? They got like precious gemstones and minerals that could be used for advancing and enhancing technology. They got a lot of stuff like that in Congo. You know, hyperconductive materials that's found in nature. Also, they got the diamonds. I think they may have some gold too. So you have, you know, millions, if not billions of dollars worth of resources that come out of the Congo, and you have a lot of people, a lot of Jake there that are in poverty, and they don't benefit from none of the resources, you know. And you got just like over here in the Americas, where you got traders of our own people. You got coon ass niggas, right? Not Uncle Tom, Uncle Sambos over there, that was over there in the Congo, that gave up their people into slavery, right? There's a whole history behind that, you know. And that's what I wanted to get into. Before that happened, I did a video on it a while back on how there was a, and I asked, because I have, you know, I have some associates in the world, so to speak, that are from Africa and that have lived in the Congo, lived in different parts of Africa, speak the language, whatever. But we were talking about this guy, brother's done videos on it too. Simeon Toko, or they might actually be two different people, but I think they're the same. They're the same person. You got Simeon Toko, but I think he's also referred to as Kimbambu. Which I got some information from this particular associate in the world, where he was talking about, yeah, that's the name of the Congolese prophet, right? That was performing miracles and stuff, and it goes back into Simeon Toko. But there was I forget the name, but there's a prophet that basically, they say it was a prophet, but apparently what he said was come true. So he might actually have been a actual, you know, prophet, you know, in the reincarnation. Who knows? I don't know, right? But basically, he was saying, I think it was like maybe with like a decade later or a couple years later, it said soon. He said soon. There's gonna be people that are gonna come and enslave the Congolese people physically and spiritually, and it happened, right? They came to the Congo with Christianity, so they enslaved them spiritually, and then they physically enslaved them. That was the Portuguese and the Belgians, right? They came and physically enslaved them. And this is also where you get you got a lot of Congolese people. I'm just connecting dots here. You got a lot of Congolese people from Angola that were mixed amongst Asher, right, in Brazil. That's where you get the martial art it's a martial art called capoeira, which is an Afro-Brazilian martial art because it was brought from Angola and then brought to Brazil, and then the different tribe of Asher learned it from the so-called Congolese, Jake from Congo, right? Because you had Angolan slaves that came from Angola into Brazil, right? And that's why the Portuguese also conquered the people of Brazil. That's why they speak Portuguese, and they also speak Portuguese in Angola. Just give us some history, right? Right. So, hey, for all the things that this devil has done against the people of the Lord, there's going to be a recompense for it, right? He's not going to get out of what he has done unto the Lord's people all around the world. Just be explaining that history and those different things, disparities, if you will, that are suffered by the Congolese and other Jakes in Africa, right? Because that's the Atlantic slave trade, man. Right? Deuteronomy, the very last verse, right? It goes into all of that, man. So that he has to pay for that. Joel chapter 3, right? Will you render me a recompense? Right? The Lord is going to recompense these devils and these heathens for what they've done unto us. This is why this is one of the main reasons why the Lord is going to decimate the armies of the world in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, right? Which means Yahweh's judgment, the Heavenly Father's judgment, right? This is why he's gonna beat those armies into powder, all right, and wreak havoc upon the earth. This guy gonna get squished by a car, right? He's gonna beat them into powder, right? And it's all for what? The controversy of Zion. What they have done unto the Lord's people. The Lord got something for them, right? The Lord has vengeance prepared for them, So I didn't want to make it too long. I've actually been in traffic. We in high traffic hour. But Lord will, we're edified with that, and Lord will, I'll be back later through the Spirit, and I'm gonna say shalom.